Imagine a bustling market square, vibrant and full of life, where diverse voices come together to shape the community's future. This square represents ASEAN, a coalition of 10 nations rich in potential, yet often constrained by the weight of dynastic politics. Just as some European democracies have successfully navigated similar challenges, think of countries like Germany or the Scandinavian nations, which have emerged from periods of political dominance by elite families to establish more inclusive and accountable governance. ASEAN faces a pivotal moment. The question looms: can ASEAN break free from the grip of hereditary power and cultivate a political landscape that empowers its diverse citizenry? Take Italy, for instance, where the rise of populist movements has challenged long-standing political families, leading to significant electoral shifts and a push for reform. Similarly, Spain's recent political landscape has seen the emergence of new parties like Podemos, which have invigorated democratic participation and reduced the grip of traditional elites. As ASEAN grapples with its own legacies of dynastic influence, it must consider whether it can unite its member states in a collective effort to promote accountability and representation. Let's explore whether ASEAN can learn from these examples and redefine its political narrative for the future. The Philippines and Vietnam present contrasting political landscapes, both significantly shaped by family influence and governance. In the Philippines, a democracy characterized by dynastic politics, power is concentrated among a few influential families, such as the Marcoses, Aquinos, Dutertes, and Arroyos. This dynastic rule has roots in the country's colonial history, where elite families accumulated wealth and land, enabling them to exert considerable political influence. Despite attempts at reform, these political clans continue to dominate both national and local governance, creating a landscape where political stability in certain regions coexist with inequality, corruption, and a lack of competition. In contrast, Vietnam operates under a tightly controlled communist state, where family influence manifests differently. The Communist Party of Vietnam, CPV, enforces a hierarchical structure in which leadership positions are assigned rather than elected. While the CPV promotes meritocracy and ideological commitment, familial connections often play a crucial role in career advancement. Leaders tend to groom their children or relatives for key positions, promoting a quiet dynasty within the party. This informal network ensures continuity, but raises concerns about nepotism and transparency, as the children of senior officials often access elite education and government roles, further entrenching their status within the political elite. Both nations grapple with the implications of familial ties in governance, albeit in unique ways. The Philippines faces challenges from overt dynastic politics, where personal and familial interests frequently overshadow public welfare, exemplified by stalled reform efforts like the Anti-Political Dynasty Bill. Meanwhile, Vietnam's system, while avoiding extreme wealth inequality, struggles with corruption and favoritism as high-profile anti-corruption campaigns reveal the abuses stemming from entrenched familial networks. Thailand represents a unique political landscape where modern governance coexists with an esteemed monarchy, creating a complex system that mixes constitutional authority with deep cultural and historical significance. The monarchy, one of the oldest in the world, is woven into the fabric of Thai identity, with the king serving not only as the head of state, but also as a unifying figure symbolizing stability and moral authority. The late King Bhumibol Adulyadej exemplified this role, earning widespread respect through his long reign, which was marked by initiatives aimed at rural development and strategic interventions during crises. In contrast, King Maha Vajiralongkorn's leadership has sparked debates regarding the monarchy's relevance within a modern constitutional framework, while strict lèse-majesté laws ensure that criticism of the monarchy remains a criminal offense, thus maintaining the institution's power in Thai society. Political leadership in Thailand has been marked by instability and a continuous struggle between democratic aspirations and military influence. Since the abolition of absolute monarchy in 1932, the country has alternated between democratic governance and military rule, resulting in a hybrid political system where elected officials often operate under the lingering shadow of military authority and the monarchy's moral guidance. Recent youth-led protests have highlighted demands for democratic reforms, including a re-evaluation of the monarchy's role and greater accountability from the government. As Thailand moves further into the 21st century, the monarchy faces a critical juncture amid shifting societal attitudes. A younger generation, increasingly influenced by social media and global perspectives, is questioning the monarchy's place within a modern democratic context, advocating for transparency, reduced royal expenditures, and constitutional reforms. The response from the leadership has been marked by caution and, at times, repression, including heightened arrests under lèse-majesté laws and attempts to limit protests. Indonesia, Southeast Asia's largest democracy, currently steers a political landscape characterized by both notable progress and significant uncertainty. Under President Joko Widodo's leadership, the country has enjoyed relative stability, yet it continues to confront deep-rooted challenges that cloud its political future. These issues include pervasive corruption, increasing political fragmentation, and mounting tensions between the government and civil society. Despite notable economic growth, public trust in the political elite remains fragile as citizens express growing disillusionment regarding promises of reform and transparency. The dynamics of Indonesia's foreign policy further complicate its political landscape as the nation strives to balance relationships with major global powers like China and the United States while pursuing its regional ambitions. The government's approach to foreign policy not only reflects its strategic interests, but also acts as a mirror to the internal political climate, which can shift in response to public sentiment and political developments. Ultimately, the challenges clouding Indonesia's political future are not isolated incidents, but rather interconnected issues that demand strong leadership and comprehensive reform to ensure ongoing growth and stability. Malaysia's political landscape is characterized by a distinctive combination of constitutional monarchy and federalism, exemplified by its unique rotational monarchy system. The Yang di Pertuan Agong, or king, is elected every 5 years from among the 9 hereditary rulers of the Malay states. This rotational monarchy reflects equitable representation of its states. The royal families of Malaysia trace their lineage back to the Malay sultanates, with each of the 9 states: Johor, Kedah, Kelantan, Negeri Sembilan, Pahang, Perak, Perlis, Selangor, and Terengganu, with its own sultan. The sultan's authority extends beyond ceremonial duties. They actively engage in state politics, impacting local governance, cultural preservation, and religious affairs. Despite largely ceremonial nature, the influence of Malaysia's royal families remains significant, particularly within their respective states. Many sultans possess considerable economic power through substantial wealth and land holdings. Additionally, members of the royal families often occupy important positions in both the political and business sectors, enabling them to shape economic policies and decisions. Laos, a landlocked nation in Southeast Asia, is often overlooked in global discussions despite its significant geopolitical and economic importance. Governed by the Lao People's Revolutionary Party since the revolution in 1975, Laos operates as a tightly controlled one-party state with limited political freedoms and strict media regulations. Laos continues to grapple with poverty, corruption, and inadequate infrastructure, positioning it as one of the poorest countries in Southeast Asia. Geopolitically, Laos serves as a crucial land bridge among China, Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia, making it a strategic player in the region's dynamics. While it may not wield significant global power, Laos's location has garnered attention from major powers, particularly China, which has invested heavily in infrastructure projects. This influx of Chinese investment has raised concerns among neighboring countries, such as Vietnam and Thailand, who are wary of China's expanding influence in Southeast Asia. Myanmar's political crisis is linked to the enduring legacies of its military junta and the Suu Kyi family, with each force shaping the nation's trajectory in different ways. The military, known as the Tatmadaw, has dominated Myanmar's politics since its coup in 1962, maintaining a firm grip on power despite intermittent attempts at democratic reform. The junta's influence was codified in the 2008 military-dominated constitution, which ensured its continued dominance even during periods of civilian governance from 2011 to 2021. The situation escalated dramatically with the February 2021 coup, which ousted the democratically elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi and her National League for Democracy, leading to widespread protests and brutal crackdowns. The military justified its actions by alleging electoral fraud, a claim that sparked international condemnation and significant resistance from both civilians and ethnic armed groups, many of whom have long fought for greater autonomy and rights.
The Constitution says nothing about somebody being above the president. That said, I'm going to be above the president.
Aung San Suu Kyi, the daughter of General Aung San and architect of Myanmar's independence, has become a symbol of resistance against authoritarianism. Her family's political legacy is both celebrated and contentious. While Suu Kyi garnered global admiration during her years of house arrest, her leadership from 2015 to 2021 was marred by criticism, particularly regarding her inadequate response to the Rohingya crisis, which saw brutal military actions displacing hundreds of thousands. The ongoing tension between the Tatmadaw's entrenched power and the Suu Kyi family's democratic aspirations lies at the core of Myanmar's crisis. Military's control faces increasing challenges from a populace yearning for genuine democracy and reform. This struggle is further complicated by the country's ethnic diversity, as various ethnic groups, including the Rohingya, Kachin, and Karen, continue to resist central government authority, often facing violent repression framed as a fight for national unity. Southeast Asia has a mix of political systems, with some countries enjoying vibrant democracies and others ruled by strict authoritarian regimes. The region includes Indonesia, which has a lively democracy, and Myanmar, where the military controls the government. This diversity creates challenges for building strong democracies. To help democracy grow, it's important to focus on strengthening institutions, encouraging active public participation, and promoting fair economic development. Many countries in the area struggle with issues like corruption and weak laws. For example, Indonesia has maintained its democratic system for over 20 years after moving away from dictatorship thanks to its strong institutions. In contrast, countries like Thailand and Malaysia face problems with military influence and political instability, showing the need for everyone, including military leaders and businesses, to respect the law. Supporting civil society and encouraging people to take part in politics are also key to keeping democracy alive. Southeast Asia has a rich history of activism, but authoritarian governments often suppress these movements. In the Philippines and Thailand, civil society groups have fought against authoritarianism, yet many citizens feel frustrated by corruption and manipulation. It's crucial to empower people to participate in politics through voting, protesting, and organizing without fear. Education that teaches democratic values and human rights should be part of schools and communities to help people become informed citizens. While ASEAN has the potential to foster greater political stability and unity in Southeast Asia, it faces significant challenges in ending the region's complex dynamics of dynastic politics and authoritarianism. However, through strengthened cooperation, the promotion of democratic values, and greater regional accountability, ASEAN can play a pivotal role in encouraging reforms and holding governments to higher standards. Ultimately, the future of Southeast Asia's political landscape depends not only on the efforts of ASEAN, but on the will of its people to demand more transparent, inclusive, and accountable governance. Whether or not ASEAN can end dynastic politics will depend on its ability to balance diplomacy with tangible actions toward political evolution. Thank you for tuning into our channel. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth analysis of global issues.